resources that the companies are that the company has employed in him, has invested in him. To avoid that wastage, training is required so that everybody is at par, everybody knows what is to be done. To reduce sales turnover, we know what is sales turnover, the rate at which people leave the organization. So the turnover should not be very high. If the sales turnover is high, then it tells a lot about your company. It tells that the company is not doing enough to sustain and to retain the sales force. Either the salary is not good, the working conditions are not good, there is duplication of work, there is no clarity in instruction, there is no communication among the team members, there is no coordination, the culture is unhealthy, it could be anything. To improve morale, what will happen when you are trained? You feel more confident. When you feel more confident, you tend to perform better. When you perform better, you get appreciation. When appreciation actually boosts your morale. So training is, even though indirectly, but it is related to raising your morale as an employee. To improve customer relations. If you are someone who has not undergone live case studies or real life situations where maybe a hypothetical customer is brought face to face with you and you've been given a situation on how you will actually act when the customer is facing this dilemma, then you will not actually be able to perform anything in the real world. When you actually go outside and do the field work, or even if you are handling via digital network, you will not be able to access the right information. You will not know what to ask next. You will not know how to handle an irate customer and how to appreciate a patient one. So customer relations को maintain करने के लिए, improve करने के लिए rather, training is essential. To improve communication, I think the very inherent feature of training is communication. We learn how to communicate because everything is related to the human resource. We are not talking about training a software or training a machine. We are talking about training a human being. When a human being is trained, the communication improves. Now here, communication improvement does not mean that the person starts talking a lot. It means that the person learns what to say, when to say, to whom to say. Even if he or she is a person of few words, those few words will be fruitful for the company and for the job that is to be done. To improve self-management, naturally, the person will become more disciplined. They have to follow a certain schedule when they are a part of training. So that training becomes a part of their routine and they learn how to manage themselves according to the timetable. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Now we have these phases of training. So you don't straight away just start with the training. You need to have some blueprint in your mind that where do we have to go from, where do we have to go, and what is to be done once we have reached there. So first you assess the needs of training program. If you remember when we talked about recruitment, we talked about how we first assess that what is the current position that is unfilled. Right? And if we can afford to have the people who are working in our companies to fill those jobs, right? If those people do not fill the selection process is initiated. Similarly, when you have to introduce a new training schedule, new training program, you first have to assess the needs of the training program. कि उस training program से हम क्या achieve करना चाह रहे हैं. You first have to identify the percentage of employees who are not performing. If that is that kind of training, कि हमें किसी की current performance improve करने के लिए training देनी है, तो first you have to assess कि how many people are there. उनके according कितने resources चाहिए होंगे. Right? And how many trainers will be required? कितने दिन तक ये चलेगा? What's going to be the schedule? What will be the meal time? And what powers and responsibilities, how the powers and responsibilities will be adjusted during that training phase. Once everything is assessed, you proceed to the design and execution of training program. So you finally put everything into practice. You also offer an invite, right? You inform everybody who is to be trained that this is the schedule that you have to follow for the next week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 1 year. 1 year is usually a long time when usually a new machinery, a new software, a new change is happening inside an organization. Usually when an organization is undergoing a transformation, not change. When an organization is undergoing a transformation, then usually longer period training programs are scheduled. Otherwise, 3 to 5 months are enough. Evaluation of reinforcement of training program. Here you ask yourself, was it effective? Who are the people who are supposed to be benefited? Then you actually identify the deviations. Has the performance of those employees improved post becoming a certified, training individuals? You ask yourself why happened, whatever happened, how it happened, to whom it happened, and when should it have been happened. You ask yourself all types of questions, and finally you compile an evaluation report specifying the success rate of the sales training that you conducted. Are we clear on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we have certain on the job and off the job training methods. If any one of you have done internships, I guess many of you have done internships. And if any one of you have simultaneously worked somewhere, then you will know that there are certain types of training that go on job and off job. And usually a combination of the two, is adopted in a company. There is no one perfect solution for any training requirement. It is usually a combination. So we have these two categories, on the job and off the job. On the job is mentoring. What do we understand by mentoring? In general sense, what is the meaning of mentoring?
Ma'am, you are put under a senior, it's like a
Right.
master, like you learn from what he does practically. Like generally to no, that's apprenticeship, sorry. You just
So
learn from
basically, mentoring, you are taught what to do. You are encouraged what to do. When you are
Yes.
mentored by someone, you are being guided by someone, right? When you are being mentored by someone, it means you are being guided by someone.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so whoever mentor is assigned to you, they tell you what to do, they guide you through, they encourage you to proceed, and they provide you with the right environment and the right knowledge that is required. So basically you work yourself, jo bhi kaam karna aap khud hi karoge, but you can get regular feedback from the mentor that is assigned to you. The mentor is not going to do the work for you, you have to do the work for you, but under certain supervision, and that supervision is not harsh. Mentoring is very constructive, progressive, and positive. So this is one method that can be adopted on the employees who are already there, and that can take place within the boundaries of an organization. Then we have a sales manual. I guess every company has a sales manual. Instead of maybe for some company, instead of devoting enough time and money on one person and making them a trainer to take care of a bunch of employees, at times sales manual is handed over to an entire team, that this is your manual, this is how you have to proceed, learn and act accordingly. So that sales manual has all the objectives of the sales organization, employees, how to approach a customer, how to demonstrate a product, everything about a sales organization. And it varies from organization to organization, because the sales techniques are also going to vary depending upon the product and service we are dealing with. Okay, job rotation. At times, you might be in a single position for too long. You might be at the same position for the last 2 years and you need a break, and that is showing on your performance. So the supervisor might feel it important to switch you for a time being to another job. If you are a sales executive, you might be asked to become a logistics executive. Your job is rotated so that you already had an experience of a sales executive. Now you can also have an experience while being employed in the same role. Understudy. What is understudy? One person is CR in your class, the other person is the one who takes care of the assignments that are done by all the students. And these two people are playing two different roles. If the CR is absent or is about to be absent for another 1 week, then the person who's handling the assignments, I give him the role of the CR. so that he can see what are the roles of CR. What challenges does a CR face when he or she is operating in a class? What challenges are faced while communicating and coordinating with all the students in the class? That is understudy. When you take up a role that usually belongs to someone else, so that you learn. Basically, when you be in someone else's shoes, you become an understudent. That is understudy. When you take someone else's role and learn about their position, their tasks, the challenges, opportunities, everything. Are the on-job methods clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We are only going to cover this much today. The off-the-job methods will be covered in the next class. Please be prepared for your attendance. Is there any doubt for today?
No.
Okay.
No, ma'am.